Hi and welcome to Maxim's Inside Track. I hope everyone's keeping well in their homes and in isolation, especially our friends in New Zealand and around the world. The dairy market is open for business. It has been classified as an essential source of food and is flowing freely throughout Australia borders and also in New Zealand. This is a good result. We have seen some instances of milk dumped in Europe, the US and Canada. However, we won't see that, we don't believe, in Australia or New Zealand as there's surplus stainless steel and capacity in this market. I'll start with full cream milk powder. A very positive result on the GDT as a whole, and whole milk powder in particular up a couple of percent. Just be mindful that this result is buoyed a little bit by instant being approximately $400 a tonne above regular product. This difference is normally around $105, $110 US. So that has boosted these numbers, and also the front months have been pretty robust. C1, C2. The other anomaly is we're coming off the back of a 3-week delay or 3-week period between GDTs, so there's a little bit more pent-up demand there. Obviously China's showing some good recovery from COVID-19, which is great. And the other thing that we are seeing is that there is limited supply for whole milk powder coming through these winter months out of NZ. So yeah, it has been a good demand. The Middle East is probably one of the sectors that's down slightly just based on those oil prices being off. However, Asia and China are buyers, and an extremely good result for full cream milk powder. Moving on to skim milk powder now. Once again, a solid result, but just needs to be offset a little bit by the disparity between EU pricing and NZ pricing. So it's about $400 a tonne difference on that product. It feels like skim milk powder is freeing up, in particular out of Europe as they come into their peak milk flush, and the US. So it does bode very well for NZ origin, being preferred and people paying a premium for that off the GDT platform. Yeah, it'd be interesting. There is talk about it drifting off and potentially getting some government support in Europe. So there could be a little bit of softening still of skim milk powder. However, fingers crossed, if we can get this food service, cafes, clubs, pubs, schools reopened, it should start to give us some more support. But once again, a pretty good result, in particular on this platform for skim milk powder. Moving on to the fats now, butter and AMF. These products are under pressure, in particular around, once again, just the decline in this food service demand. Obviously, butter and fats and creams are used extensively throughout that food service network. So it feels like it is starting to free up. In particular, once again, as these Europeans come into their peak milk flow, fats out of Europe and the US are the most competitively priced. This GDT result is an excellent result. Butter has gone up, and once again, 3-week delay between GDTs, some pent-up demand, but it's excellent to see that these volumes are clearing and heading in a positive result, and we hope that can keep this fat market at least stable out of Oceania as we get through these winter months and then start to head into spring. But yeah, once again, as we progress through this pandemic, and hopefully we can start to get towards a China result of opening back up slowly and opening up these markets again, and food service and schools, this demand should start to increase. onto cheddar now. The story out of Oceania is limited supply and pricing remaining firm. We haven't seen the same in particular in the US, where a lot of the cheddars and mozzarellas go into that food service market, quick service restaurants, etc. So that has come off, and come off pretty hard, in particular on those futures markets. Europeans drifted off slightly, however not anywhere near dramatically as what we've seen in the US. So once again, another food service type play, but it'll be interesting to see what the Europeans do in terms of a mix of product, and whether they lean back towards a skim butter mix or continue with a cheese production. But yeah, holding up reasonably well, in particular out of Oceania. Moving on to the whey derivatives, whey, lactose, the WPCs and WPIs. Starting to see just non-high growth sweet whey drift off a little bit. Yeah, lactose probably firming, going the other way slightly as well, and then the WPCs and WPIs a little bit of a mixed bag, just depending on end users and where they're placing product. We are seeing internet purchases or anyone selling proteins online having solid demand, and in fact growing sales, and then anything or anyone going to the retailers is probably drifted off a little bit. We probably see WPC as stable-ish and WPI under a little bit of pressure, but as a general feel, these whey derivatives will be hinged a little bit on cheese production and what that product mix looks like as we develop or go through this COVID-19. That concludes the Inside Track. I hope you all are keeping well and safe, and we look forward to getting through this, and we are open for business. We do have product available. If you need anything, give us a shout, and all the best. Catch up soon.